General overview of the front of the truck. General overview from top to bottom. There is nothing cracked, damaged, loose. Everything is properly mounted, secured. My lenses, lights, reflectors are clean and the proper color. Look under the truck for leaks and or leaning. Open hood. Go to passenger side. General overview. At first approach, nothing is cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. And hoses have no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. Radiator is not cracked, damaged, leaking, or loose. The lower radiator hose has no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. Is properly mounted, secured, and not leaking. Water pump is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Is belt driven, no more than 3/4 in play in the belt, no abrasion, bumps, or cuts. Exhaust is PMF, properly mounted and secured. Is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking, as would be indicated by black soot by the clamps. Driver's side. General overview. At first approach, nothing is cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. No hoses have abrasion, bumps, or cuts. Radiator is properly mounted, secured. No cracks, damage, loose, or leaking. The upper radiator hose has no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. It is properly mounted and secured, not leaking. Coolant reservoir is properly mounted, secure. No cracks, damage, loose, or leaking. At proper level, cap is present. Alternator is belt driven, properly mounted, secure. Is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. There no more than 3/4 inch play on belt. All wires are properly mounted and secured. Have no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. Oil is at the proper level. Explain how you would check oil. Check oil fill tube cap is properly secure, not leaking. Windshield washer fluid reservoir is properly mounted, secure, not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. At proper level, cap is present. Power steering fluid reservoir, properly mounted, secure, is not cracked, damaged, loose, and is the proper operating level. Cap is present. Power steering pump is gear driven, working properly, and is not cracked, damaged, or leaking, loose, or leaking. The hoses are not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Air compressor is gear driven, working properly, is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. None of the hoses are cracked, damaged, loose, and not leaking. The steering gearbox and hoses is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking, not missing any bolts. Pitman arm, drag link, steering arm, and knuckle are not cracked, damaged, loose. Properly mounted, secured with castle nut and cotter pins. Tie rod is not cracked, damaged, loose, or bent. Properly mounted, secured. Leaf spring hanger and shackle are not cracked, damaged, loose. Leaf spring, U-bolts, and bump stop are not cracked, damaged, or loose. All properly mounted, secured. Shock is not cracked, damaged, or leaking, loose or leaking. Upper and lower mounts properly mounted, secured. ABS wire and brake hose, fitting, and clamps have no abbreviations, bumps, cuts, and properly mounted, secured. Brake chamber and clamps are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Signs of leaking: air, noise, or audible. Slack adjuster and push rod are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose. Push rod has no more than 1 inch of play when brakes are released. Brake drum, brake pad, shoes are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose. The pad is not dangerously thin, is not wet with grease. Inner rim is not cracked, damaged, loose, and has no illegal wells, free from oil and grease. Inner side wall of the tire has no abrasions, bumps, cuts, or illegal patches. Properly mounted, secured to rim. Tire tread has no uneven wear and at least 432 of tread, no illegal patches. Outer side wall has no abrasion, bumps, cuts, no illegal patches. Properly mounted, secured to rim. Lug nuts are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose, or missing. No sign of rust or metal shavings. Wheel hub seal is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Is at the proper level. Explain how to check level. Metal valve stem and cap are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Pressure is at 100 psi. I would check it with the gauge. The side of the truck. General overview. Nothing is cracked, damaged, or loose. All lenses, lights, reflectors are properly mounted and secured. Clean and proper color. Mirrors are not cracked, damaged, loose. Clean, properly adjusted. No illegal stickers to obstruct my view. Doors open and shut properly, and nothing is cracked, damaged, or loose. Weather sealed, has no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. Hinges are not cracked, damaged, loose. Fuel tank properly mounted, secured. No cracks, damaged, loose, or leaking. Fuel tank properly mounted and secured. Not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Fuel cap is properly mounted and secured. Not cracked, damaged, loose. Has safety chain and proper seal. Step back from the truck. There is no sign of any fuel leak from the fuel tank. Steps are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, or loose, and free from any loose objects that may trip me. Back of truck and front of trailer. General overview from top to bottom. There is nothing cracked, damaged, loose. Everything is properly mounted, secured. My lights, lenses, and reflectors are clean and the proper color. Bulkhead has no holes. Exhaust is properly mounted, secured. Is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking, as would be indicated by black soot by the clamps. Drive shafts is not cracked, damaged, loose, or bent. And the U-joints are not cracked, damaged, loose, and show no excessive wear, no debris. Frame is not cracked, damaged, loose. All mounting bolts are present. Catwalk is not cracked, damaged, loose, and has no debris. Cross members are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose. All are present. Coupling. General overview. From top to bottom, there is nothing cracked, damaged, or loose. Everything is properly mounted, secured. My lights, lenses, reflectors are clean and properly colored. I have proper distance between my tractor and landing gear. Bulkhead has no holes. Airlines have no abrasion, bumps, cuts. Properly mounted, secure to the truck and trailer, are not leaking. Glad hands and rubber seal is in good condition. Glad hands are properly connected to the trailer and the truck. The safety latch is in place. I would check it on the truck side the same way. Side skirt apron is not cracked, damaged, loose. No gaps between apron and skid plate. Skid plate is not cracked, damaged, loose. Is properly greased. Platform is not cracked, damaged, or loose. The sliding fifth wheel track is properly mounted, secured, not missing any mounting bolts. Slider pin is in the locked position. Pull pin and safety latch are not cracked, damaged, loose, and are in the locked position. Kingpin is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose, or bent. Locking jaw is in the locked position and completely around the kingpin. Rear of the tractor. Torque arm and bushings are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, or loose. Axle is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Airbags are not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking, and have no abrasions, bumps, cuts. Lights, lenses, reflectors on the back of truck is not cracked, damaged, or loose. They are clean and the proper color. Mud flaps, hangers, and mud flaps are not cracked, damaged, loose, not dragging the ground or touching tires. Leaf spring hanger, shackled leaf springs, U-bolts are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose. Shock is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Upper and lower mounts properly mounted, secured. ABS wire and brake hoses, fittings, and clamps do not have abrasion bumps, cuts, properly mounted, secured. Brake chamber and clamp are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Sign of leaking is air noise audible. Slack adjuster and push rod are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose. Push rod has no more than 1 inch of play when brakes are released. Brake drum, brake pad, shoe are properly mounted, secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. The pad is not dangerously thin, is not wet with grease. Inner wheel is not cracked, damaged, loose, and has no illegal wells and is free of grease and oil. Inner tire has no abrasion bumps, cuts, or illegal patches. Tire tread has no uneven wear, minimum 232 tread. There is proper space between the two tires. 3 inches, no debris stuck between them. The rim butt up together with 0 space. Outer tire has no abrasion bumps, cuts, or illegal patches. Outside wheel is not cracked, damaged, loose, and has no illegal wells. Lug nuts are not cracked, damaged, loose, or missing. No signs of rust or metal shavings. Wheel hub is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. 2 metal valve stems and metal cap not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Minimum of 100 psi, and I would check it with a air gauge. General overview, driver's side of the trailer. General overview of the side of the trailer from top to bottom. Nothing is cracked, damaged, loose. All lights, lenses, and reflectors are not cracked, damaged, or loose, are clean and the proper color. I have the proper reflective tape on the side of my trailer. Landing gear, cross member, and bracing are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose. All bolts are present. The foot is not cracked, damaged, loose. Properly mounted, secured. Landing gear is all the way up and working properly. And the handle is properly mounted, secured. Cross members are not cracked, damaged, loose. Properly mounted, secured. All are present. Airlines are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, or loose. And have no abrasion bumps, cuts, and are at least 18 inches off of the ground. Front of trailer tandem. This is a sliding tandem and frame. Is not cracked, damaged, loose. Locking pin is in lock position. My handle is in lock position. The adjustable torsion bar and bushings are not cracked, damaged, loose, and all the bolts are tight. Leaf springs, hangers, and shackles are not cracked, damaged, loose. Leaf springs, U-bolts, and bump stops are not cracked, damaged, or loose. All properly mounted, secured. Shock is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Upper and lower mounts properly mounted, secured. Airbags do not have any abrasion, bumps, cuts. Is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Properly mounted and secured. Brake chamber and clamps are properly mounted, secured. Not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Signs of leaking are air noise or audible. Slack adjuster and push rods are properly mounted, secured. Not cracked, damaged, loose. Push rod has no more than 1 inch of play when brakes are released. Brake drum, brake pad, shoes are properly mounted, secured. Not cracked, damaged, loose. The pad is not dangerously thin. It is not wet with grease. Inner wheel is not cracked, damaged, or loose. Has no illegal wells and is free of grease and oil. Inner tire has no abrasions, bumps, or cuts, illegal patches. Tire tread has no uneven wear, minimum 232 tread. There is proper space between the two tires of 3 inches. No debris stuck between them. The rim bud up together with 0 space. Outer tire has no abrasion, bumps, cuts, or illegal patches. Outside wheel is not cracked, damaged, loose, and has no illegal wells. Lug nuts are not cracked, damaged, loose, or missing. No signs of rust or metal shavings. Wheel hub is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. 2 metal valve stems with metal caps. Not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Minimum of 100 psi, and I would check it with an air gauge. Mud flap and hanger are not cracked, damaged, loose. Properly mounted, secured. Not dragging the ground. Back of trailer. General overview from top to bottom. Nothing is cracked, damaged, loose, or lights, lenses, reflector is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and are clean and the proper color. Door is not cracked, damaged, loose. All hinges and latches properly mounted, secured. Not cracked, damaged, or loose. Doors will open and close properly. DOT bumper and reflective tape are in good condition. Passenger side of the trailer. I would inspect the right side of the trailer just as I did the left side. I would inspect the right side of the truck just as I would have the left side. In-cab pre-trip inspection. Check 3 safety items. 3 red triangles. Fire extinguisher present and is 10 BC or better. spare fuses are present. Enter the truck using 3 points of contact at all times. Check your seatbelt is properly mounted, secured. Top and bottom mounts, fastened and unfastened. Has no frays or cuts. Using safe start the truck. Check horns, air, and city. Checking the driver's side mirror. It's not cracked, damaged, loose, and it's adjusted properly and is clean. Check the driver's side window. Works, not cracked, damaged, or loose. Checking the windshield. Not cracked, damaged, loose, and no stickers or obstructions. The weather stripping around the windshield is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Checking the passenger side mirror. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose, and it is properly adjusted and it is clean. Checking passenger side window. Works, not cracked, damaged, or loose. 4-way emergency flashers indicators are working properly. Left turn signal indicator works. Right turn signal indicator works. Headlights are on and high beam indicator works. Oil pressure is at its normal operating range and the gauge is working properly. Temperature is building and the gauge is working properly. Engine RPM is at idle and the gauge is working properly. Bump gas pedal to check gauge. Voltage is in its normal operating range. The gauge is working properly. Fuel gauge is working properly and we have enough fuel. Primary and secondary air gauges are working properly and building pressure to governor cut off 120 to 145. Listen to the truck as each is different. Cannot check speedometer until the vehicle is moving. Windshield washer fluid sprays and it's working properly. Windshield wipers are working properly. Blades have no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. They are touching the glass. Wiper arms are properly mounted, secured. Heater reach below dash. And defroster works. Feel top of dash to where the air is blowing from top and bottom. Check the gear shifter and make sure it is properly mounted, secured. Check floor, make sure it is clean. Nothing to roll under my pedals or feet. Make sure TTDS. Trailer brakes tug test. Press in the tractor brakes, yellow button. Push in the clutch and put it in first gear. Release the clutch slowly to check brakes. Tractor brakes tug test. Pull out the tractor brakes yellow button. Push in the trailer brakes red button. Push in the clutch and put it in first gear. Release the clutch slowly to check brakes. Drive. Push in both brake valves and release all the brakes together. Engage the clutch. Let the truck roll 5 miles per hour. Both hands on the wheel. Service brake test. Apply the service brakes to make sure it stops and the steering wheel does not pull. Make sure that the pressure is to governor cut off on both air gauges. Put truck in first gear. Turn off engine. Take foot off the clutch. Turn the key back on. Sail. System check. ABS light will come on and goes off. Gauges. Do the sweep system check. Allow the air pressure to stabilize. Quit dropping. Usually about 15 seconds. Roll down the window and listen for leaks. Applied brake test. Press the brake pedal. Should not leak down more than 4 psi in 1 minute, 60 seconds. Count it. Low pressure warning. Pump brakes until the warning buzzer lights come on before 60 psi. Emergency parking brake automatically activation test. Continue to pump brakes until both buttons pop out, usually between 20 to 45 psi. Make sure you have your license permit and medical card with you at all times. No cell phones in the truck. Make sure you fasten your seatbelt and that all passengers fasten their seatbelts. Always put the truck in third gear when coming from neutral starting off. It is easier. Always take off in third gear. Never take off in fifth gear or higher. Never apply throttle when taking off. Just slowly release the clutch and then apply throttle. Do not push the clutch all the way down to the floor when the vehicle is moving due to clutch brake. Always double clutch when shifting up between 1000 to 1300 RPM low side and 1300 to 1600 RPM high side. Do not over rev the engine. Always keep both hands on the wheel at 9 and 3 except when shifting. Do not rest your hand on the shifter. Return your hand to the wheel between shifts. Always drive slower than the traffic around you. Keep the cars in front of you moving away from you. Never drive more than 10 miles per hour under speed limit or 5 more than 5 miles per hour over limits. At every shift and every intersection, hands on the wheel, foot off the clutch. Check your mirrors. Never change gears in an intersection or across railroad tracks. Always slow down and be prepared to stop for the railroad tracks. Always watch road signs and be aware of the speed limit. Watch for the following distance when you see brake lights in front of you. Prepare to stop. Treat cars entering the road in front of you the same as an intersection. Be prepared to stop. Never drive beyond your vision. Always be able to stop in the distance that is in your vision. When you are stopped behind a car, you need to see the tires on the car in front of you meet the ground. Never pull the truck into neutral when your foot is on the brakes. Never downshift when you should be on the brakes to stop immediately. Never pull the truck out of gear unless you are at a speed in which you can put it back in gear. Always be in 4th to 5th gear, below 15 miles per hour, and at least one trailer length before turn to stop. Don't get any of your tires up on curve. Automatic failure of CDL exam. Traffic checks should be performed every 7 to 10 seconds using both mirrors. Road stop procedures. Must be in far right lane to do a traffic train check. Hazard flashers on 100 to 500 feet from tracks. Stop truck 15 to 50 feet from tracks. Roll windows down. Turn off any excessive noises. Look and listen for train. Check outage in front of tracks. Must say outage. Do not shift, stop, change lanes, or pass while crossing tracks. Do traffic train check. Hazard flashers must remain on until trailer is completely across tracks. Traffic check procedures. Proceeding in the right lane. As you prepare to stop, check traffic. Emergency start. Activate your turn signal. Slow down smoothly. Brake evenly. Change gears as necessary. Bring truck to stop without coasting. Truck must be parallel with the road and safely out of traffic.